forever too. And you know, you tell them about a rock on the trail, they knew what rock he was talking about. And you had to respect them. I mean, they knew what they were talking about. They knew what they were going to get done, how they were going to get it done. And now it's up to you folks to kind of keep up that tradition, getting the job done. But anyway, come on, ask me a question. I'm going to run out of something to say. Courtney?
What did you do in between when the elk hunting season ended and then before the spring bear season?
What did I do?
Yeah.
Well, the first year I was married, I went back into Moose Creek and spent the winter. We went in there and we had a job, wasn't a job, really, a place to live, keeping snow off the buildings in there. And every place you went, including the outhouse, you put your snowshoes on. And then a few years later, the last year before we had a kid going to school, we went back in and stayed another winter. And of course, I'd already spent a couple of winters up at Selway Lodge when I was a youngster, and then the last year, when I should have been in high school and took correspondence courses in the commission, well, we stayed in there all winter and bought a couple of cooking homes. After I got set up outfitting and had kids in school and stuff, we had a place out this side of Koosky, and we wintered our stock there and got a few head of cattle and put up hay and just did all that normal stuff. But as soon as we could, we went to the mountains. Or I did. The kids' mother had to sometimes stay out and send the kids to school and take care of the home ranch and stuff like that. But I claim I've had a pretty rounded education. You know, I can do most everything. And most of the time, my kids learn to do most everything. Got two girls while I'm here, two boys, and, you know, they all helped in the mountains and enjoyed going to the mountains. They all learned different trades. The boys can weld. I never had any inclination to learn how to weld. One of them could shoe and do a pretty good job of it. Both of them can pack. In fact, three of them can pack pretty good. I don't know, they have a good life. And I hope that when you meet somebody that my name is familiar to, they've got something good to say. I just hope so. When they formed the Selway-Bitterroot Foundation, I was one of the charter members. Some of them kind of thought that maybe I qualified for it because I spent so much time in there, and I'd owned a piece of private ground inside what's now wilderness. I really have no regrets. But you had a question.
Where was your outfit on Moose Creek?
Where'd I outfit?
Yeah.
Fish Lake Airstrip was my main base, and then upriver from the Moose Creek Ranger Station.
Is it Seminole Ranch? Or up there?
No, we owned a place on Trout Creek, okay. But then I actually did most of the hunting on up the river about 8 miles from the ranger station at Cow Creek.
Okay.
Various reasons. There was horse feed at Cow Creek. You know, I could graze there. There was also, depending on the weather, pretty fair hunting. But that was November hunting, late hunting, after the game had moved down. It's also steep.
But yes, the place that he owned was just before you crossed Trout Creek, if you've been up that direction, and had a log cabin, and you could see the snow-covered Bailey Mountain from it. And they used to fly us kids in on Thanksgiving. I'm sure that was a lot of work for them, but we got to go in for Thanksgiving. So.
So what happened to your property?
The property we had in there?
Yeah.
I sold it to maybe the worst outfit in Idaho. You know, I mean, there was, the Forest Service was our neighbors. I was raised with the Forest Service. That was our neighbors, and I got along with them pretty good. they got a ranger in there who was going to straighten us out. And, I got along with him, but he was not really, I didn't care for him. And so I thought they deserved the worst outfitter. And, you know, and he only outfitted there a year or two, and then he sold the private property to the Forest Service. Doubled his money. He did okay. But no, there's not much, well, Selway Lodge is maybe the only piece of private property
North
in the
Star.
wilderness now. I don't know.
North Star is
North
still.
Star and Running Creek, are they
Yeah.
inside the wilderness? I guess they
Yeah.
are, yeah, because the wilderness
Yeah.
boundaries of paradise, yeah. It's a way of life, you know. I mean, as far as I know, those properties are all owned now by real rich money people, which is okay. They've sold easements to the Forest Service so that they can not do any more than what is there now. I mean, they can't subdivide it and do things like that. But, you know, when I was selling what I had, why, it was good to tell the Forest Service, well, I've got some people interested in subdividing this. At the last minute, the Forest Service come around and offered me the same as what I had it sold for, but I'd already told the guy I'd sell it to him. But I really kind of, they didn't send the ranger. They sent another guy. I kind of wished I'd just sold right to them, but I didn't. But I had another outfit bought. I had to leave.
Jim, when you were making most of your money on your fall hunts, but you talked that you did a lot of fishing trips for families. So
Yeah,
how
well,
did they pencil out for profit?
you know, there might be some outfitters get rich. I wasn't one of them. But well, we tried to take enough summer trips that it kind of paid the expenses for the year. You know, and we could go, you know, in the hunting season, we'd go buy us a new car or a truck or something. But we were making payments on the ranch and the house and kids going to school and stuff like that. But outfitting's not something to get rich at. You better like what you're doing. And I was on the licensing board for this outfitters for 11 years, and you'd have people come in and wanted a license to outfit, and they'd say, "Oh, I just love to hunt and fish." Well, that isn't what you do when you're outfitting. You take care of people who like to hunt and fish, and you better enjoy taking care of them. But it, you know, it was a good life.
Jim, tell me when you were living at Selway Lodge with your family. What time frame was that?
Meaning when he was still a kid?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
okay.
Yeah. How long did you?
Until I was 16 years old.
Okay.
From 2 months till 16 years old. And, you know, most of you boys probably play with cars when you're little kids. I had a pack string. I had a bunch of old saddles on the fence out in front of the house. You know, I'm not exaggerating when I tell you I've been packing for 80 years. I mean, that's what I did. I had another pack string. It was about short pieces of rope all tied together, and I had trails up on the hill, and I ride my stick horse around dragging my pack string. And, you know, packers are at times not real couth, I guess it's like. Dad always had several of them around, you know, either working or boarding there and stuff. And because I had my pack string out there on the fence, and I come in one noon to eat lunch, and I said, "I'll catch that son of a bitch after I eat." And Dad says, "You know, I'll do the swearing." And I was like 5 years old. He said, "I'll do the swearing in this family for a while." I never did swear in front of him. But you know, that's what packers say. Play us another tune.
Did your family own the lodge and you lived there, and then where did you go?
Well, you know,
Did everybody move then?
the first 2 years they just stayed in there. And then when kids got old enough to go to school, why, they'd send them out to stay with well, our grandmothers usually, and until after hunting season, then the folks would come out, and we spend the winter, well, we spend them in various places, Koosky, Grangemont, Lewiston, wherever we could. And then after my sister got old enough and everything, Mom was not well, and Dad wasn't real well either. My sister stayed in the year she would have been a junior, and she was going to do the cooking. She and Mom didn't get along real well, and so Jean ended up not cooking but just helping around, and Mom did the cooking. The next year, Jean did stay in and cooked, and I said, well, if she's going to stay, I'm going to stay and pack. I was 15. I thought I knew everything. And anyway, that's what we did, and then we spent the whole winter in there that year. And then the folks sold out the next spring, and we moved out. Since then, I've just been going to the mountains every chance I get. But Mom had been a school teacher for a year before she married Dad. So, you know, she had some sort of credentials for teaching us and stuff. I have to admit that during hunting seasons, when they'd send the other kids out to go to school, Mom would keep me in there. And I didn't do any schoolwork during hunting season, you know, but I could catch up with the kids when I come out and did go to school, pretty much. I'd spell my name and that, things like that. But you know, we couldn't wait to get back in there in the spring. I mean, that was just where we belonged. That was our home. When the folks went in there, there was only a couple of cabins, and Dad built the main lodge and a couple other cabins. And my sister and I managed to burn the barn down, so we had to build a barn. You know, a few things like that. But there was always lots of things to do there. And of course, there was haying in the summertime, and eventually Dad leased a couple of places on up the river, North Star and Running Creek, and we had to put up the hay up there. And, it was busy summer. And then you had to come out and go to school. And of course I did from about well, Mom skipped the second grade with me, so I just went from the first to the third, and then after about the fifth grade I had to come out and go to school too. But one winter the folks were staying in, and I was probably about an 8th grader or something like that. Well, all the school people in Koosky knew who we were and what the situation was and stuff. And at that time you had a reasonably long Christmas vacation, but there was a storm coming. So everybody decided, well, the 17th of December, we better fly in there. And we flew in the 17th of December and didn't come out till the 7th of January. You know, it was a long vacation, but you know, they didn't knock our grades down anything or anything like that. They let us catch up. I don't remember having to do anything to catch up. I worked with a good teacher like that. What are you pointing at?
The kids are ready to play.
They're ready to play. I'm ready to listen to them.
Home sweet home.